Folks, Eric Smith here, radio voice of the Toronto Raptors, NBA host and analyst with Sportsnet. I want to shout out my man Chris and 30 Minutes Live with CDP. Even though I know, Chris, you're not a Toronto sports guy, you've got those allegiances to the Detroit-Windsor area, the Pistons, the Red Wings, the Tigers, and for some reason the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm still trying to figure that one out, Chris. Why'd you drop the Lions? Why'd you drop the Lions, Chris? There's got to be a reason there. We'll have to fill everybody in on that another time, I suppose. But again, check out 30 Minutes Live with CDP every Wednesday and Friday. It's on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook Live, you name it. Chris is everywhere across all platforms. And if you just want to check out the audio version, maybe you're going out for a walk and you just want a podcast or something, you can get it on Apple, Google Podcasts as well, Spotify, Anchor FM, and Radio Public. So again, I told you, Chris is everywhere. And I'm hoping that I can be a guest on the show at some point this summer as well. Wednesdays and Fridays, 30 Minutes Live with CDP. Check it out.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to a Thursday afternoon edition of Live with CDP podcast. I'm just waiting for my guest to come on. Today's guest is Brittany Bloom. She's an R&B singer from Atlanta, Georgia, and I look forward to speaking with her today. So just give me a couple minutes, and hopefully she will come on. And there's her website, too, if you want to check out BrittanyBloom.com. And she's an R&B singer from Atlanta. And like I said, I'm looking forward to speaking to Brittany today. And I'm just going to put her picture up here, too. And just one sec, guys. And Brittany's picture there too. So bear with me, and hopefully she'll be on in a couple of minutes. I did send her the link to my pod. As you guys know, sometimes technical difficulties can happen as well. So, like I said, I hope you guys are all doing well on this Thursday, July 8th at 12:02 p.m. And I'm looking forward to today's podcast. Anyways, before we wait for Brittany to come on, I'll just do some sports headline news. Let's see. The first headline news is Ohtani from the Angels hit his 32nd home run yesterday to break Hideki Matsui's record for home runs by a Japanese player in a major league season. He has 32 now. And to me, with him pitching and hitting like he is, to me, he's a front runner for the American League MVP. Sorry, Blue Jay fans and Vlad Guerrero. And some other sports news while we're waiting for my guest to come on. New York Mets ace Jacob deGrom said yesterday he's skipping the All-Star game. He's had some minor injuries, some shoulder issues. So I think that's why he's skipping the All-Star game, which is smart on his part and the New York Mets part, because I think the Mets only go as far as Jacob deGrom takes them. And some other sports news, guys, since we're waiting. Tampa Bay, as you guys know, defeated Montreal last night 1-0 in Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final to win their second straight cup, third overall since 2004. And the Conn Smythe MVP was goaltender Andrei Vasilevsky, which 16-6 record, another shutout in the final game, and his goals against average, I believe, was 1.50 or something like that. It was 1.5. So, yeah, well deserved. Tampa Bay, 3 cups since 2004 is pretty good. And they've also played for the Stanley Cup 4 times as well, guys, because Chicago beat them in 2015. So, for a franchise that's only been around since, I believe, 93, 94, 3 Stanley Cup championships and 1 Stanley Cup appearance loss is pretty darn good. And Steve Yzerman built this team as well. I know he left there 2 years ago, but a lot of the core was drafted and developed by Steve Yzerman. And it was Steve Yzerman's idea to hire John Cooper as head coach. So Steve Yzerman had a part of that franchise's success, and hopefully he will be with the Detroit Red Wings as well. And I do think the Red Wings are going to be even more competitive next year, and I think the Red Wings could be playing for a playoff spot next year. We'll see. I think Steve's going to have another good, strong draft, but I think the Red Wings are heading in the right directions. I actually like the directions of all the Detroit teams right now. I think the Red Wings are going the right way. I think the Tigers have shown huge improvement. Okay, the record's 40-47, but AJ Hinch is dealing with a young team with a lot of young players, and the Tigers right now are in 3rd place in the Central. three and a half games out of second place, and they've been playing pretty good baseball since May. They've been over 500 since May, and they just took another 2 out of 3 from Texas on the road, which was pretty good as well. And their closer and lone All-Star representative Gregory Soto has been outstanding, and he had a 6-out save yesterday. He had to come in the 8th inning, and he got the job done against the Texas Rangers. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this Tigers team in the second half and see how they do. And then the Pistons, the Pistons have a couple guys that are all rookie NBA team, and also they have the number 1 pick in the NBA draft. So I really expect the next 1 or 2 years in Detroit will be much better for Detroit sports teams as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing the Pistons, Red Wings in that next year. And like I said, the Tigers are a really enjoyable team. They might not win all their games, but they've been very competitive and entertaining. And the 28-year-old Eric Haas leads the team in home runs with 12 right now. So anyways, let's see some other news. The Tokyo the Olympics in Tokyo, Japan. Spectators have been barred from them due to their COVID outbreak again as well. So it's just going to be a made for television event, and that was just announced, I believe, this morning as well. And some other sports news, guys, while we're waiting. The NBA Finals Game 2 is tonight at 9 o'clock. Milwaukee at Phoenix. The Suns lead the series 1-0 after their 118-105 win in Game 1. I still think the Bucks are going to make this a 6-game series, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, guys, just wait 1 second. My guest just came on, so 1 second, and I'm going to bring her on. And thank you guys all for waiting. I appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to, 1 sec. I'm going to bring her on right now. Good afternoon. How you doing?
Hi. I'm so sorry.
For what? For what?
I'm late. I was having, I thought I already had everything organized, but apparently I did not. So sorry about that.
No, things happen sometimes with technology. So that's why I'm still sorry. I just got to adjust my seat. I'm learning how to ad-lib. So sometimes things happen with guests not being able to come on, or technical difficulties or whatever. So I've learned with this podcast to ad-lib. So I always like to be prepared in case something unexpected happens. Mm-hmm. And I just got to keep going. So I knew you were going to come on. So no worry. Thank you so much for coming on.
No problem. I'm trying to make sure everything is right. Okay.
Can you hear? I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm great.
I can see and hear you good, so everything appears to be good to go.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay. Just 1 sec. I'm gonna just show you your clip. You sent me the link the other day, so I was just gonna put it up here if that's okay.
Okay.
I better make sure I announce that the clip is courtesy of Brittany Bloom, because I know Facebook and them they're kind of fussy about the music copyrights and stuff.
Right.
But I think because you're the person that sings it, I think it should be okay.
Yeah, it should be fine. If I get, I usually get like an email or something that says somebody's doing something with your stuff. So I'll approve it if something comes up.
Okay, no problem. I'm just going to put it on right now. It's the 1-minute clip that you sent me of your single you, and I'll just put it on right sec. Can you hear it okay?
I can.
anyways, thank you for letting me share that clip of your song "You." Again, like I said, I'm careful with music on here because I know all the copyright rules and stuff. But thank you for letting me share that clip with my audience here in Ontario.
Um,
I was going to ask you that song, the video and the song. Did it take you a long time to write it? Like, how did that work?
Well, with that particular song and actually that song that's on my upcoming EP, I did with a production of Aaron Lamont. So he is the base of all as a songwriter for a lot of these. And we really just sat down and I told him about what I was going through and what was happening. And he was really behind all of the songwriting. I, did a little bit here and there, but yeah, so normally we'll go in for a session and then like the next day, have a song.
Okay. I was just curious about that anyway. So, are you okay for time? I just have some questions for you.
Sure.
Okay, no problem.
Can you hear me? Because my I think my AirPod is linked to my computer and it's not connecting to my phone. So
I can hear you loud and clear. Actually, it's
okay.
it's really good.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. No problem. And that's the reason why I always like to send my guests the email a little earlier. Not that they have to come on earlier, just to make sure there's no issues with the camera or the mic. Or
Yeah.
I've had some guests that don't use Google Chrome and they've had issues. So I always tell people, ideally, if you can use Google Chrome, sorry, I can talk. It helps. It helps with the podcast as well.
Yeah, I get it. I understand.
And this technology is amazing because, like I said, I've had guests like yourself from Atlanta. I've had people from San Diego. I had one guest come on from Australia a week and a half ago, and it was amazing. It was kind of hit and miss with the Wi-Fi, but it's just amazing. I can talk to people from 2, 3, 4,000 miles away.
Right. It really is awesome how it could just bring us together so closely without being
Definitely.
at all.
Definitely. I still like in person, but for me,
Absolutely.
this podcasting thing's been great the last year and it's kept me busy. And I want to try to actually get a job in radio from doing this.
Oh, nice.
If I'm lucky. Thank you. As long I'm just trying to just keep working at this 2, 3 times a week and trying to keep getting great guests on and just trying to keep improving daily. And hopefully somebody will eventually notice me on my social platforms.
Well, I do feel like I had a mentor who actually passed away last year. His name is Tony Taylor, and something he used to tell me all the time was he's never seen consistency not win. So I'm sure it's there. It's on its way. It's on its way to you.
Yeah. And you're never too old to change careers. And I'm in my late 40s. And it's like, I had one comedian on from LA that came on a couple weeks ago. He switched careers when he was 66. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and now he's 80 years old and he's a comedian in LA. So Marty Ross is his name.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, and he's a good guy too. So, like I said, I still got a lot to do, but I'm going to start getting you some questions. You already answered one of my questions about your mentors when you were first starting up in the music industry. So, first question I'm going to ask is, can you just tell my audience a little bit about yourself and when did you know you wanted to pursue a career in music?
Okay, so the short version of myself is I am from Florence, South Carolina, born and raised. I have a BA in communications from the University of South Carolina, Aiken. I moved to Atlanta almost, I think, 11 years ago at this point. And my late aunt, she actually was a member of Chic with Niles Rodgers and, the famous songs of Good Times. But she was in the later version of that group. And so I grew up in the church, always seen music, heard music. And she actually was my first representation of you can do it. You can, you can tour the world and be on all the shows and succeed. But I would say, and I've always sung since I was little, in church and everything, but I think I really decided in the 8th grade that I want to be a singer. Not necessarily was it approved by my family, but it was something that I always said in the back of my mind that I wanted to do. I had like a full binder of songs and poems that I wrote, that I still have today somewhere. It's somewhere around here. But yeah, so I knew in the 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade, that I wanted to be a singer.
Okay. Did you have any other mentors besides the gentleman you mentioned, Tony?
Yes. Yes. My late aunt definitely was one for sure, because she was someone that understood that our family wasn't always necessarily supportive of the genre of music, especially that we wanted to do, but she definitely was a mentor in trying to help hone my skills, and give me vocal lessons whenever she came home. But like an actual mentor who would sit down and really teach me and give me some great lessons, I would definitely have to say her and Tony Taylor, who just has been in the industry for years and knows some of everybody.
And I was going to say, and that's another thing too in the music industry, or even what I'm trying to do with radio, is building your connections and contacts up as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's necessary, So it's the saying of, it's not what you know, but who you know.
That's true.
Very true. So.
That's true, and that's what I'm working on doing as well. And I always ask this question to my guests, anyways, because the majority of the guests, not all, but they found that they had a mentor or mentors that actually helped them out starting in their career, not just sports, but broadcasting, or in your case, in music. And I always like to ask that question.
Yeah, absolutely. And at this point, I am looking to mentor someone, as for the knowledge that I have. I know how important it is. And maybe if I had it a little bit sooner, maybe how much quicker I could have gotten there, or.
I was going to say, and I've had a lot of these guys from the NFL, the NHL, ESPN come on and give me advice and just come on my podcast. And I told them one day, if I'm lucky enough to make it in the radio industry, I would do the same for somebody who's trying to get into it. Pay it forward, they call it.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, honestly, you could do it even where you are now. There's someone who wants to know where to start, and they may not really know, but from what the knowledge that you have now and what you know now, you can definitely go ahead and pay it forward there.
Yes, because I did have one guy, the Philly sports guy in Philadelphia. His name is Jamie, and I wasn't sure how to do my podcast or do this right. And he kind of told me about StreamYard, and then he kind of helped me out as well. So I've never forgotten that he kind of gave me a helping hand with getting onto StreamYard and making my podcast look more professional too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So definitely, I agree with that. Okay, my next question for you, Brittany, is do you remember the first song you performed in public, and where did you first perform at?
Oh man, the first song I performed in public. Oh, that's a good one. Okay. So the first one was actually a lip sync show. Okay, because I would say church, but that's I feel like something outside of church. Okay, I did a lip sync show, first grade. I had like 2 background singers, and I had a guy that I was like talking to on stage. He was like my leading guy. It was to Janae as Mr. DJ. Hey, Mr. DJ. Yeah, it's a group thing. We're moving on, keeping strong. Don't you let them steer you wrong. It's a groove thing. But it was a lip sync. But my mom made our outfits. We had like matching leather back then. That was like, leather was really in. I had on like leather shorts and a leather vest, and we all had like our matching leather outfits. And yeah, I won it. So that was first grade lip sync show at my elementary school.
Okay. Hey, another question I was going to ask you. I didn't type this down, but this one I wanted to ask you. Vocal lessons. Did you have to take them when you were younger, and are you still doing them now as well?
Yeah, I mean, have to. I don't know if that's the right word. Did I want to? Yes. And did I? Yes. I actually took vocal lessons and piano lessons. So I should be, an Alicia Keys at this moment, able to sing and play, but that was not my path. I actually took like piano lessons for like 3-4 years and did not learn anything. I was also in choir, performance choir, all the way up until university choir. Like I was a part of a choir for school forever. So with that being said, I was always learning and singing throughout school and taking vocal lessons. I have taken some, but I'm not taking anything currently, but getting back into doing that again. During the pandemic, I kind of slowed down on everything and just took a break, just altogether with everything. But yeah, so once I became an adult and everything, I did it some more. But looking to do it some more. It's always good to keep fresh with those things.
Okay, I just wanted to ask you about that. The next question I was going to ask you, you sort of already answered it, but I was just going to say, I guess your musical connection with your family and with your aunt, I guess, was huge on you wanting to pursue a career in music. I guess like music was always important in your family.
Yes, I mean pretty much everyone on my father's side, everyone can sing. My late grandmother, like everybody sings. Everybody sings. So it's not anything I wasn't used to seeing and hearing all the time. So I think at an early age, just like I said, my late aunt being someone that I looked up to, realized that, the love came from writing my own music and writing my poems. And then that turned into, okay, I want to sing. So
That was going to be one of my other questions too. And I was going to say with music, I like classic rock music. I like 80s music, but I also like Motown music because I have family that lived in Detroit area.
okay.
And when I was younger, back in the 70s, I always remember hearing Motown music and I always like it because it was always, most of it was upbeat and positive, and there's nothing better than having good music that's upbeat or positive to listen to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. Upbeat and positive is always a great way to go.
I have, unfortunately, I tried karaoke once in New York City a couple years ago. I had a few too many drinks and I kind of emptied out the bar. So I have no musical talents whatsoever, but everybody has their own God-given talents. And to me, you know what, the music right now comes in really handy because, like I said, I always listen to music before I come on my podcast as well on here.
Yeah, I mean, music is a part of our daily lives, and we don't even realize, how much we are listening, regardless if we want to or not. It's on TV shows, it's on podcasts, it's on. If you're watching anything that has to do with any entertainment, news, whatever, there's some clip of music somewhere there.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping one day I'll have a opening intro with music in it, but I'm going to have to work around the copyright rules on Facebook and YouTube and all that. So, but yeah, no, because with TV shows or even podcasts or even other things, it does make a difference. You
even
identify
with sporting events.
Yes,
you gotta have it. It's
definitely. Definitely. But I was going to say, I was sorry about the Atlanta Hawks. They had a great season. They just came up a little short to the Bucks in Game 6 in Atlanta.
Yeah. Hey, but good they got as far as they did, right?
Are you a sports fan at all, or just a little bit?
Um, Maybe very wee bits. I keep up with it from, social media and the news and stuff,
Yep.
but I'm not gonna say I'm like a sports fanatic or anything like that because I'm not.
That's okay too. My guest last night wasn't either, but that's the thing with my podcast too. Originally, it was all sports, and it still is. But now I'm getting people like yourself, musicians and comedians on here, and TV producers come on. So I'm trying to spread my wings a little bit too, not just be focused solely on sports, which is my first love, but
Mhm.
just to be a little more. What's the word I'm looking for?
Diverse.
Diversified.
Hmm.
Diversified on here.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. And you know what? It's your podcast. You do what you want to do. This is your playground. So yeah, I think that's really cool though. But yeah, I mean, the most I've ever done with sports or been involved with sports, I used to cheer. So I was the captain of my cheerleading squad in high school, and in middle school. So that's as far as like sports when I really thought I was keeping up with something.
Yep.
Then.
Yep. Well, here in Canada, hockey's big, basketball's big, lacrosse. But I notice in the States, high school sports are almost as popular as pro sports.
Yeah, it really is. It gets pretty intense. And the high school I went to, Wilson High School in Florence, we really we won championship games. Our parades were just as big as we like our homecomings are still like really huge. Yeah, it gets really it was really big. It was really big for our town and our city. So
And I still would say I've never been to Atlanta, Georgia yet, and I'm hoping one day, maybe it might be a little while yet, but I was gonna say it's a football. Football is number one in Georgia, wouldn't you say?
I would guess so. I would think so. I'm gonna be honest. When I moved to Atlanta, the only thing that was on my mind was music. So as far as like I guess like the real staples of, Atlanta, and I'm not a Georgia peach. I'm morphing into one, but I wasn't born and raised here. So a lot of the things I think kind of slip past me sometimes because I was here on a mission focused on, my career. But I would definitely say it's up there. I don't want to be wrong if people from Atlanta born and raised are just like, no, that's not true. You know what I'm saying? So, but I would definitely say it's definitely high on the list, if not
Oh,
the top.
okay. How much of an adjustment was it to move to Atlanta? Did it take a while to get used to it, or did you kind of just it just kind of like clicked right away?
Yeah, before I moved, I knew that I wanted to move to Atlanta. I was pretty much on my way to college, and I knew that I wanted to be as close to Atlanta as I could be. I My parents didn't really want me to move out of the state to go to a university, so I picked somewhere where it was like maybe like 2.5, 3 hours. So I would pretty much go every weekend to Atlanta. And every time I came, and every time I like hit the city, came into the city, I felt like, so I was just like, oh, this is definitely every. When I graduated, everybody knew where I was going. It wasn't like a secret. Everybody knew that I was going to Atlanta.
Okay. My next question I wanted to ask you, Brittany, we sort of talked about it, but this is one I wanted to ask. What age did you start writing your own songs? And on average, I know every song's different. How long did it take normally or approximately to write a song?
Oh man, I was pretty young when I started writing songs. I started out with poetry first, and then it turned into melodic poetry and then turned into songs. So I would say maybe 12, 11, 12. Um, and then I guess as far as how long it took me then, I can't remember. But like now, it really depends on the mood I'm in. if I'm really hit with inspiration, then it could take an hour or a couple hours. But if I hear some of the song, because that everybody writes differently, and I hear it. I hear how it's supposed to go melodically and music wise. If I don't, so sometimes I don't have the words necessarily, but I just hear the music of it. So I guess I'm kind of like a producer as well. But yes, depending on how much of it I hear, if I don't have all of that at the same time, then sometimes it can take a couple days, especially if I've lost the sporadic inspiration for it.
Okay.
Sometimes I have to take some days off and come back to it.
Do you have your own studio, or do you have one that you use through? I assume you have a agent or whatever.
Actually, I don't. I don't have an agent.
Oh, okay.
I do everything myself.
Self.
I would love to have an agent for someone to take some of the business off of me, so I can concentrate on the other creative aspects of being an artist and brand and everything like that. But what was the other part?
I was gonna say a studio. Do you have your own studio, or do you like rent out one? Like one, I don't know how that goes with musicians. That's why I was asking you about the studio part of it.
Yeah. So I have a little small setup, but I normally go to. I have someone I use all the time to engineer my sessions. Doing it myself is fine, but I'm a little slow at it because I don't really know all of the ins and outs of everything. And sometimes it helps to have another creative person in the room to like bounce ideas off of vocally if I'm not hearing something right, or so a lot of times I rent out a studio and I have my engineer that I like working with.
Okay. And I was gonna say, I guess in a way, doing a lot of it on your own right now might help you in the future, because then it'll give you a better understanding of the industry as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the same as, it's the same as I actually, like I said, I have a BA in communications, but I came to Atlanta as an intern during school for a celebrity publicist. So I moved to Atlanta being a junior publicist for that company and moving forward in public relations from then on. And it was always in the entertainment industry. So I was able to get behind the scenes to I understood what was happening there, so that I then could apply it to my own artistry and brand. And that was the plan. I did not learn, that in order to like really do it for someone else. I was doing it so that I could figure out how to do it for myself. So yes, in that way, I think it's always great to learn the different parts of the industry so you can know, and therefore no one can like twist your hand on anything. You know that this is supposed to go this way, and at the end of the day, if they don't do it, you can do it yourself.
And that's true. And that's why I wanted to ask you this question as well. And I know my podcasting radio is a little different, but it's also good for me to know every aspect of social media and continuing to learn new things every day on here as well.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's always, you put yourself in the best situation when you can know both sides.
And I'm also a camera operator for a cable company in the Toronto area.
Oh.
And I do live hockey games and stuff like that. And that's something I enjoy as well. And hopefully when I get back to, it's called Rogers TV. They're a major company out of the Toronto area.
Okay.
And and I'm going to, hopefully when I get back with them, I'm going to try to learn as much as I can, because I like doing the cameras too. I like doing this, but also it's good to learn other things too, and just see how things work. And there's a lot of work even for a live hockey production. The producer, and then you get all the other camera guys, and then you got the graphics person. There's a lot of work to be done in a even in a hockey game live broadcasting. And the same with your profession as well. Before you go live, you need there's a lot of hard work set up and then tear down and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to piggyback off of what you were just talking about, how there's so many different things you can do in this industry, and it's great to, learn other things, and also it maybe excites a different interest in wanting to do some, in another area. So I love to sing and I love to perform, but I also love to direct videos. I love to direct shoots, photo shoots. I love to be the creative director for photo shoots as well. So I do that for other people, not just for myself, because I actually enjoy being there on set, hands on, working with other artists and people, because that was also something I didn't have coming up. I had to do everything myself. And I had to be my eyes and ears for myself. And I enjoy being able to be someone else's eyes and ears and help them create the vision, or give them a vision if they didn't have one.
I was gonna say, and I have so much respect for producers because even in your field or television, and that you have to know all aspects of everything about a production, and you're sort of like the quarterback, and like you said, you have to know everything, and I guess what you're doing, I think that's really smart on your part, because in you know everything that goes on, especially in the future when you do eventually get a talent agent and all that, you'll know everything you need to know. So I think what you're doing is the best way of doing it.
Yeah, my thing is, if they never come, I'll be okay. So I'll always, if I can never, be invited to a table, I'll have my own table. So it's okay. Um, so yeah.
Okay. My next question for you, Brittany, are you still okay for time?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I always like to double check with my guests. My next question I was going to ask you, who were your favorite musician and artists when you were growing up that you enjoyed listening to and really?
Growing up, okay, so growing up, especially in my younger years, before I was able to like get my own car and job and stuff like that in high school, I was raised in uh, a Christian home. We listened to gospel, and so everything else I really didn't know too much about. But when I was able to like get out for myself, especially in high school, my own job and car and stuff, then I was able to listen to what I wanted to listen to. So I loved Destiny's Child, Writings on the Wall. I used to listen to that all the time. I used to listen to Brandy. Oh my goodness, Brandy to this day is still like my favorite top number one artist. Who else? I used to listen to Tony Braxton too, from like my aunties. They don't know that I used to, I got that from them. But yes, Erykah Badu, another one of my favorite artists still to this day. Yeah, so those are a couple.
Okay. I just thought I'd ask you that anyways. I'm into, like I said, classic rock music from the 70s, 80s music, Motown music. Like I said, Bob Seger, I guess, is one of my favorite as well. So,
Okay, nice.
and when I go to sporting events, I always like upbeat, up tempo music as well. So a
Okay,
little bit of everything.
okay. Nothing wrong with that.
No. Okay. And my next question for you is this one I kind of asked all my guests, but I just word it differently. What is the hardest aspect of the music industry, and what do you love about it the most that keeps you working at it?
Um, what isn't hard? I feel like there's so many things that's hard, especially in this age of, cancel culture and social media bullying, not having the proper resources, or not having any resources at all. Um, the thing is consistency, and you can make excuses on, it doesn't matter if you don't have the money, it doesn't matter if you don't have the resources, you can still, put out consistent music and content. But I do feel like where that kind of doesn't add up sometimes is like the quality. So if you want good quality music and content, then you have to invest lots of money for good production and good cameras and good recording equipment and everything else that is involved in putting an album together or a song, advertising and distribution. And there's money there. I understand it's not an excuse, but like I said, if you want quality and if you want this to go to radio, if you want it to catch, and so I would say the hardest thing is a team to help you do these things, money, and the resources. So if you don't really have any of those three, it can be a little depressing and discouraging to continue. But on the flip side, what I love about it is if you really just love something and you appreciate the milestones. So here now in my current space, I remember how I felt 11 years ago when I first got here, and I had none of that. But I worked really hard. I went out to every open mic. I went out to every networking event. I was out every single day. Then I ended up meeting people and traveling the world, and one thing led to the other. And now I can see, even though I'm not where I want to be, now I can see, I appreciate the milestones. This is why I keep doing it, because there's so much gratification that comes from doing it. And even if other people don't like it, as long as you like it, So I remember, 5-6 years ago when I didn't have any songs of my own out, and I was just like, I don't have anything. Now I have, I think, 5 or 6 and an EP coming. So it's really gratifying to stick to it and see the baby grow up,
And you got to start somewhere. And it's like my situations, I don't have the biggest audience, but I'm just working to be consistent and just to get myself out there on social media, and just try to keep daily improving. And the thing is, I have a passion for this. And when you have a passion for something, it took me a long time to find a passion, because I've always had jobs or whatever, but nothing that I had a passion for. And this is something I really have a passion for. And I think that's huge in any kind of career you want to do nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely. I do believe you say, what keeps you going, it has to be the passion, because I have a friend, and my sister says this all the time. She's like, I would have gave up a long time ago. Like, all of the things that you go through, oh, it's so much, especially as a woman, Black woman, and it's so many things that you go through that are not favorable and not nice, and can really take a toll on you. But because I love it, I love it. I love making music. I love it. So therefore, if it wasn't for the passion, it wouldn't be happening.
That's true. And also, I was told too, even with going into radio, hopefully you're going to get rejection, but you just have to just don't let negative haters get to you. And if this is something you really want to do, keep working at it, keep asking questions. And like I said, it took me a while to get guests to come on here. And to be honest, I wasn't really that good the first few months. But then when you keep working at something, then people start like, wow, this guy's not bad. And then the last 6, 7 months, I've had 2 or 3 guests on a week, and like I said, I'm very appreciative of the opportunity because, like I said, I'm still working away at this.
That is so wonderful because it's just another prime example of you have to keep doing it. Whatever it is, if you are not an expert at it, and let's be honest, the only way you can become an expert at anything is if you continue to do it and you know go through so many different levels of doing it. But no one has that kind of knowledge offhand when they first start. You may be exposed to the industry, but there's nothing like getting into it yourself and then figuring out, oh, this isn't what I thought, or this is another issue I didn't think would come up. And you just have to keep doing it. It really is just that simple, but that hard. You have to keep doing it. You have to push past all of that.
The negativity and the haters and the doubters and stuff like that. So I totally agree with you there. My next question I was going to ask you, I only got a couple more if you're still good for a few more minutes.
Okay.
What is your biggest audience you've performed live in front of so far? And where in the States have you performed so far across the country?
The biggest audience so far. It's been I'm not really sure of the number for sure, but maybe 3,500.
That's a lot.
It's been a lot. It's been a lot. Across the country. Definitely New York, LA, Houston, all over Georgia, all over South Carolina, all over Alabama, Mississippi, Miami.
Have you been to Canada prior to the pandemic?
No.
No? Maybe in the future you'll have to look at maybe coming.
I definitely want to go. I haven't been to Canada.
Oh, okay. You'll definitely have to look at coming. Well, once things get better, we're still a little behind you guys, but maybe in the future, maybe look at Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver to come at.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying I wanted to go to Canada, but it's never come up within like tour dates and show dates and stuff. So it hasn't happened yet, but I mean, I can make it happen on my own and just go. But pre-pandemic, things were so crazy. As in, when I do have some off time, then I'm just at home. But moving forward, yes, Canada is definitely on the list.
Okay. Definitely. And I just got like 3 more quick questions for you. This one I always ask even comedians as well. Before you go on stage live, do you have any rituals that help you relax before going live on stage? I always like to ask the comedians or the musicians this.
Yeah, believe it or not, I like to be by myself, alone with my thoughts, so that I can say some prayers and rest my voice so I'm not talking. And also, I like to be in silence. I don't want to hear any music. I don't want to hear anything. I just want to just be in silence for a moment and channel everything that's going on inside, and then move to the stage.
Okay. And just got 2 other questions for you. This one I like to do fun questions with my guests too. Do you have any favorite restaurants in Atlanta, and do you have any other hobbies that you might enjoy as well outside of music?
Favorite restaurants in Atlanta. I have places that I like to go, but favorites, I don't think I have anything really, because I'm eating all over the place. There's so many places to eat here, and I'm just trying everything all the time. And if I'm not doing that, then I'm cooking myself, because I feel like my food is always better. There's nothing better, I feel, than a home cooked meal. But yeah, I don't necessarily have any favorites yet. And hobbies, I like to shop.
So do I. So do I.
I like to shop. I also love to get a really good Netflix TV series comedy. I love to watch comedy. So I like to do that. I'm really boring actually. Outside of stage and singing and acting or doing anything creative, when I have a chance to just kind of be with myself by myself, I am just pretty boring.
No, outside of sports, I like my music and I like my podcasts and I like volunteer work and stuff like that. So I'm not Mr. Excitement either.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, absolutely not. And I've learned I've learned that more as I've gotten older in life too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think especially myself, I spend so much time with others and doing so many things. It's just like, when it's just me, I just like to enjoy my own company.
Definitely. Okay, and I just got two last quick questions for you.
Okay.
And it's going to say, any advice to anybody who's watching this now live or later on audio who might be possibly interested in pursuing a career in the music industry, if you have any advice for them?
I actually get asked this question pretty often, and my first response with this is always to do it. Do it afraid, do it scared, do it anyway. Regardless of what's going on, just do it, because honestly, you can't understand where to go with it or how to get better with it unless you start. So you have to start somewhere. So if that's singing on Instagram, going to open mic, recording a video, putting on YouTube, whatever it is, you have to start it. So just start writing a song, let someone hear it. So honestly, outside of that, things will come. If you start and you open up and you let people hear and let people see what's going on, someone will say, "Hey, I produce music. Do you want to get together?" Or someone will say, "Hey, I have something such and such." But no one's gonna say that if they don't know that you sing. So I feel like the hardest part is starting. Everything else will surely come after that.
Okay. And I was going to say, how many CD albums do you have out currently?
I believe either 5 or 6. Let me see. My very first one was My Heart Belongs to You. Then I put out You. Then I put out Do Better. Then I put out Working. Then I put out a Christmas song. I love Christmas. So I think 5.
Okay. And besides your website, BrittanyBloom.com, where else can people purchase your music off of?
Everywhere that music is sold digitally. Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, all the things. I'm definitely Miss Tidal, everywhere.
Okay, because I'll definitely have to buy. If I buy one of your CDs, could you sign up for me too?
Absolutely.
Because like I said, I like to support my guest work, and you were so great in coming on my podcast today and giving me a little extra time. I really appreciate that.
No, thank you for inviting me. But yes, absolutely. I gotta send you some stuff anyway, so I'll get some stuff to you. My EP is coming out late September, so I'll make sure when that's done, I'll send you a little gift basket.
All right. Well, thank you. And I got your website on here, of course, but where else can my audience find you on social media?
On social media, Instagram, it's Brittany Bloom, and Facebook, it's Brittany Bloom. Twitter, I'm not really on any of these things like I should be. I'm going to try to do better. But Twitter, it's underscore Brittany Bloom. So, but
Okay.
if you go to one platform, you'll be able to find everything else.
Okay. And you're also on Cameo as well?
Yes, I am on Cameo. So if you guys have any special events going on, birthdays, anniversaries, anything like that, look me up on Cameo, and then I can get you a special song or message to your special event.
Yeah, I was going to say Cameo and Memo here in Canada has been great because I've actually made some contacts off of it, especially
wow.
yourself. And
Yeah.
also that I've had some people come off and come on my podcast too. So I really think both those sites have been great as well because a lot of people have been really great with my requests, podcast requests, or just messages. And I think it's a great tool.
Yeah, it's absolutely great. I've met some wonderful people through Cameo for sure, including yourself. So yeah, it's definitely a way to also network.
Okay. Well, again, I want to say thank you so much, Brittany, for coming on again. And I will definitely, I guess I can probably get one of your CDs off your website then.
Yes, you can definitely get all of my music off my website. And if you have any question about that, if you just put Brittany Bloom in Google, everything will come up there too.
Definitely. Okay. Well, again, thank you for coming on, Brittany. And maybe in the future, I can have you back on again.
Yes, let's do that. Oh,
Definitely.
also, one more thing. Guys, I am on Put a Ring on It, the TV show on OWN Network. So tune in on Fridays at 10 p.m.
Okay. Well, thank you so much again. And I hope you have a great day and rest of your week. And we'll definitely keep in touch with you on social media.
Same here. Thank you.
Thank you, Brittany. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed my guest today, Brittany Bloom. You can check her out on her website, brittnybloom.com. And she's an R&B singer that's based out of the Atlanta, Georgia area right now. So I just want to say thank you again to Brittany for coming on Live with CDP podcast. So anyways, guys, before I head out, I'll just check the comments. Mark Richardson. Hello, Mark. Thank you for watching as always. Good guest. Always, please check Brittany out on her website, brittnybloom.com, Mark. And I appreciate you watching as always. And thank you for your comments. And before I go, guys, I'm going to call this a show soon. I do have another podcast, not until next week. My next podcast will be next Wednesday, July 14th at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 on the West Coast. Guest Sean Bowen, the producer for Leafs Nation Network TV and the digital host for the CFL Toronto Argonauts. So I'm going to talk to Sean about his career with the Toronto Argonauts on the digital side and also being a producer, a TV producer for Leafs Nation Network. And obviously his dad is the legendary voice of the Leafs in Joel Bowen. But just want to talk to Sean about being a producer for Leafs Leafs Nation Network. I can talk. And as for his role with the Toronto Argonauts as their digital host. So Sean's been nice enough to give me some time next week to come on. So Wednesday, July 14th, 5 o'clock is my next Live with CDP podcast. Sean Bowen, again, the producer for Leafs Nation Network TV and the digital host of the Toronto Argonauts. We'll talk some Argonauts football with Sean, some Maple Leafs hockey with Sean. And I know Sean and his family is a big Notre Dame fan, so we'll talk a little Irish football with him as well. And behind the scenes of being a producer for the Leafs TV network as well. So anyways, guys, I think I'm going to call this a show. But I just want to say thank you all for watching my podcast this week. I had 3 great guests. Monday, Kevin Allen. Yesterday, Aaron Tracy, the comedian. And today, Brittany Bloom. So, all right, guys. I hope you have a great afternoon, great weekend. And we'll see you next Wednesday, July 14th at 5 o'clock with Sean Bowen from the Leafs Nation Network and Toronto Argonauts. All right. Thanks again for watching and listening to Live with CDP podcast. Oh, before I go, guys, I should put this on here as well. And just 1 second, my audio version. Live with CDP podcast. The audio version is on Google Podcast, Anchor FM, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Spotify, and Castbox. Okay, guys, we'll talk to you again later. Thank you all for watching Live with CDP. Have a great weekend.